a.m. on the 1st of September. Let's get started for today's poll report. We had a bit of a mix. We had better than expected jobs, lower average earnings, and a higher unemployment rate. So we're going to see what the market feels like it's up to today. After a pretty big gap, SPY closed at 450 yesterday after kind of a dump the last $1.50 or so, and gapped up higher towards 453. We're going to see what levels get hit. Is it just a stretch to the average? Is it a gap fill today? I still think that the big, 451.75 is resistance. That really held all day yesterday as far as just market struggled. Today we're breaking above it. We're going to see if it's clear to maybe run up and fill some gaps. So let's have a look at everything today. We know there's risk in trading. Please don't always use trade capital only. You know the deal there. Follow me on social media. Make sure it's me. Best place to find me here Mondays and Fridays for the YouTube session, youtube.com/Chris Pulver. Verified Twitter account. And also, I've got a Discord channel as well that I'll post here in just a moment. Let's jump into the charts. Here is the SPY on the daily. Let's go to the easier time frame to read. So this was yesterday. Looking like we have kind of a conflict between two gaps. Are we going to fill today's gap? Or are we trying to fill this gap from late July, or was this early August? This would have been, get out of here, alert. This would have been a gap from the first part of August. So we could push into this gap, which is the 453.60 level. That's pretty much right where we opened. If this acts as supply and resistance in a pocket, is the market satisfied with just coming back to touch that gap, or are we going to start chewing into that? Again, I've said this before with that 30% retracement, the market might be more interested in pushing higher, hitting higher. 454 is a big level today. 455 is a big level today. Looking to see if those levels get hit and pushed, and we leave a gap maybe for later, or there's enough volatility to maybe do both today. We've had a pretty quiet week overall, and we've survived fairly well. So we will continue to monitor. So let me go into YouTube, say good morning to everybody. I'll post my Discord channel in the chat. Here it is, free chat group, no expiration, copy.
Do you want to know what the stock price is of Tesla?
No. Discord channel. Morning and happy Friday. There's the Discord group. We're trading up to 453 and change. Let me check the Qs really quickly. 380 and change, another gap higher. This one has a 382.70 to fill it. We come back to previous highs around 384. I'll check the levels on that also. Let's see if we have a gap fill today. This is what I'm going to be watching for in the shorter time frame. So if we have a gap fill, I might look at maybe a 453 put. I'm going to look at that right now. Just get that priced in. So I have a 453 call, a 380 call. I did basically a straddle yesterday. My puts not doing so hot. My calls are fine. But I'm going to look to see if maybe I can grab some net profit today if we have a gap fill. And let's see. So trading at 453. If I looked at just a very quick 453 put, it's going to be a little expensive, but running down to 452 perhaps. And again, price is always like a little jumpy first thing in the morning. I just need to be careful I'm not jumping in to see this thing rip back up. But with that close yesterday at 450, I do wonder if we have another gap fill today, how the market's going to take it. So I think I'm going to look at a 453 put, 452. Oh, I could actually do a 452.50, which is pretty much at the money. I could do a 452 to be a little bit cheaper. 90 cents on that. All right, so out of the gates, bigger contract sizes, I'm seeing liquidity levels to the upside. I just hate jumping in right away, but that might be the early strike. So I've already seen price move about 20, 30 cents in the SPY. Watching this gap fill. Everyone can see my screen here, correct? Let me check my streaming software. Yep. So are we filling the gap? Are we moving somewhere today? I want to try to get a reasonable price. I mean, we've had a movement today from yesterday's close around $3.30. The average on the 20 period average trading range is around $4.60. So let's say that we put in the high for the day right here. If we put in the high for the day, $4.60 gets me to around 449. If we had the low from yesterday and we put up $4 and change, that puts us up to a fresh high at 454. I think 455 is a doable strike. That's right around that 20 period. But price is falling quickly. I just didn't turn it. It was about a dollar 20, $1.25 move to the downside. Let's see if price stabilizes in here. We're still in a buy zone overall. I'm looking at this on a 1 minute time frame. We're still in a buy zone. If we're gonna have a move to the downside again, just kind of calculating where can we go for $4 to $5. Hopefully the volatility opens up a little bit. A couple things. It's officially September. It's a non-farm payroll day. And the reason I rolled my options for today is because I'd like to see if the market would be a little bit more generous on the day-to-day movement. So here's Forex Factory. Average earnings, like I said, missed by 1/10 1%. Non-farm came in better than expected, 169 forecast, 187 actual, but we had a downward revision from 187 to 157. And then this was a big move here. The unemployment rate jumped up to 3.8. So how does the market take it, interpret it? I mean, the market's still up. I think we finished the month of August negative. If I look at the monthly time frame, I think it was a SPX monthly, I think it was a down month. So August technically finished down for the month. A long wick, it certainly, gave a big fight. But going back to the SPY, 1 hour time frame, 452, and we're at 450 for the 20 period daily trading range. And with this first day in September, hopefully the market wants to go more than $3. So, like I said, we moved from this level, yesterday's close, to the high this morning, around $3.37. Hopefully there's another $1.20 packed in there somewhere to hit the average, or maybe we have a move of like $5 today. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'm a little late to chase a gap fill. That 452.50 put is pretty attractive at $1.30, but we could also just be kind of hanging in there and then see another bullish push on the day. I mean, this whole week for the most part has been like a chop or a rally. We really haven't had much of a sell-off this week. So anyway, I'll just be patient with the option stuff. Let's talk others. And let's jump into the dollar. Daily time frame, pretty indecisive the last 3 days on the dollar. What is this? I mean, today's probably not the best barometer to say where the dollar is going to go, but levels we have to watch coming into next week. The dollar's really our barometer of risk on, risk off. It's as simple as that, right? Let's see. So dollar coming into next week's trading. Have we done enough bullishness on the dollar, or is there more to come? It really just depends on stock market behavior. If we start to see the stock market rallying again, then the dollar's probably going to get softer. So stock market rallies, dollar softer. Stock market weakens, dollar stronger. This would be probably the maximum that I'd see the dollar going up. If we moved up in this is US dollar index, which is the FXCM tool, 13,150 to 13,250. That's my window I'd be looking to short. I think with the last few days of indecision, you could probably get into the smaller time frames and look for something like this. We get a breakout. You could trade the dollar accordingly. We are positioned for the flex trading room. We're long Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, looking for this to turn down a little bit. Those are nice broadening patterns. Okay. Like, I just don't want to see price stay at like 451 all day. Anyway, all right, that's dollar index. Oil, gold, silver. I saw Bitcoin is down yesterday. Wow, that's a big rip on oil. Um, well, we did say the bounce was coming off of the 200 EMA, but I didn't expect yesterday and today to start making new highs. So I've been bullish on oil. Directionally, we have some exposure on USO, and $90 to $93 is the price target. So oil still looking pretty good. Does that give a lift to overall energy stocks? Is it energy stocks? Is it materials? Is oil strength going to attribute to more dollar weakness? That's what we saw before. Dollar weakness gave a big rise in oil, and we saw a big lift in commodity prices as well. China's coming a little bit back online. Oops, wrong one. HSI. So the HSI is well off these lows. We've moved up around 4.5 to 5%. Again, on a major index, which is a pretty good sign. Baidu, this thing's been ripping to the upside, and we had some exposure here at a 132. I think it was a 132.50 by 130 bull put spread, and that's up about 12%. So price-wise looking pretty good. Alibaba also looking pretty good. We're up from 87 to 95. We put in a bunch of 90 by 85s on Alibaba, plus we have a straddle. The other ones we would be watching, we talked about JD.com yesterday. I'd like to see if this one comes a little bit lower, back into this kind of low 20s. I put a couple chart alarms down here in low 20s. Then KWeb would be Chinese tech, off the lows in a pretty nice way. I started to read a little bit more about China and AI, whether that's just hype or not. Things are turning up, which again maybe gives rise to oil demand, maybe gives rise to more commodity prices. I think the Aussie, let's check currency strength this morning. Dollar's down, little sideways. New Zealand screams up here, which should have helped our Aussie New Zealand position. Yes. So our stop loss is around 109.35, and we're down to 108.40. So we're looking to see if this will turn south right in here. If it turns south, we're looking to fill this larger pocket on the Aussie New Zealand. See some support sit in around 105. Okay. Let's go gold and silver. Gold upside, but upside I think is still pretty limited right in here. We hit that yellow zone around 1975. I would fade that. I like silver better, to be honest. I think gold's something to watch, track the dollar, but I would be trading silver more so than gold. And silver just has better posture, better bullish structure. Looks a lot more probable to hit the highs at 29 and possibly break and go higher towards 35. Copper I haven't looked at in a while. What's copper futures? 388. I think I have. Is it HG copper futures? Yeah, I've got a chart analyzed here. There it is. So yeah, I was watching. So past resistance on copper around $3.36. We've been pretty sideways. If we get a material run looks pretty good. Got a lot of chop here at that 452 level. We're sitting right back at that same. I'm just going back to this chart really quickly. That really critical past support becoming resistance. Price just continues to kind of hug it, and I'm not quite sure on the day right now how I'm going to read that. Oops, let me get this out of the way. Sorry. So I guess if we're below 451.50, I have more of a bearish outlook on the day. If we stay above it, then there's still room to kind of work its way back up to the highs, 457, 460 perhaps. This high post FOMC was just shy of 460. But we are coming into, historically a pretty bearish month. If that's the market's best attempt, maybe we form a high right in here, then next week is all selling. So we just have to be ready for anything, which we will be. And that's that. Okay. Good stuff on the NQ. Yeah, great stuff. Yep, grabbed a few bucks there. I mean, gap fill, nice little sell off. I've got a 377 put and a 450 put. We'll see if those end up doing pretty well. I'm certainly looking to get something in between those strikes. I mean, we're trading at 451.78. I mean, I could probably sneak in a 452, a 452.50. I'm just looking to see if I can get a better directional play. Otherwise, I've got a lot of profits just sitting there the next couple weeks for some credit spreads. Low ones on the SPY, like I got in at 442, 442.50. So those are all looking pretty good for full profit today and going into next week as well. But like I said, hopefully we're not just done. Gap higher and that's it. Just sits right in the middle and doesn't do anything the rest of the day. It'd be nice to see a little bit more excitement. So if we get down to 450 and take it out, I think 448 is possible for today. And let me just check something really quickly. I might end up looking at, so my kind of open level, 450. So I already have a 450. I'd have to get into like the 451. Let me see, 451 put, 452. I think I'm going to go in with a 452. Um, I'll wait. We're just trading right in between. Give me something I can trade today. All right. So there's our SPY. There's our Q. If, like I said, if that's it, and I will take another look. Like the Q seems to be dropping, pretty nicely, taking out these recent lows, and maybe has more volatility on the day. So net, whether the Qs or the SPY gives me some profit today. All right, 452. What's it trading at right here? $1.45. 451. A little bit cheaper at 95 cents, but I need price to keep dropping. Let's see here. All right. Sorry, I just keep going back and forth with the short-term stuff. Bigger contracts all to the upside, but we've kind of tapped them already. I'm just curious, like, is that it? Is that satisfying the upside, and then we start to sell the rest of the day? I'm just going to look to see, what's my $3.50 to $4 move. If I get anything beyond that, hopefully that allows me to make a few bucks. So let me take a look here. 452. All right, I'll just keep doing some charts. I hate it's already 9:52. It's like I found myself so tempted the first 15 20 minutes of trading this week. Um, hasn't really been great. It just, I don't know. I guess a little bit of patience, you kind of get a better read on the day. But it certainly makes you feel like you miss it when you see the direction and it goes, in the first 20 30 minutes. It's like, yep, it went $1.50 to $2 just like I wanted it to. So anyway, Qs are definitely ripping to the downside. All right, 452 put. Where are we going? Gap fill would be 450. Watching this on the shorter time frame. So gap fills right here at 450 and change. All right, just be patient, dude. Okay, that's copper. Bitcoin. I had a chart alarm at 26. So let's have a look. So we had a conversation this whole week about Bitcoin after we had our SpaceX / Tesla selling to the tune of around 370 million Bitcoin, dollar wise, not the number obviously. It's 21 million in rotation, but break retest yesterday's sell off, possibly not looking great, right? So I mean, if we had this little poke, we came up into this pocket, but there was no follow through. So the bears seem to have the upper hand for Bitcoin right now. I know the news jumped. That was Grayscale, I guess, winning something against the SEC, but it gave a lift on the day, but that was it. It's already given it back. So I think that right now we're still quite vulnerable to the downside. You can see the chart alarm right here at around 25,000. This is at the low. And, it doesn't change my longer term outlook on Bitcoin. It's just if we break this low, 21 to 20 is likely going to get hit. That'd be my next area to dollar cost average into, and then 17. So I think there's good trading opportunities to buy low. I'm not selling Bitcoin. I'm just patiently waiting to see where the big upside is. Bulls have to break 32. They're a long ways from it. I thought we had a chance to maybe hold this trend line. We didn't. Once we broke it, I said it could have been a bear flag. We had that new spike, but that just gave it all back. So I think there's more momentum to the downside coming. How ugly is September going to get for risk appetite? I don't know. Again, looking at our charts here, if we fail at this high and we spend the next couple of weeks in September dropping, it was a good attempt. But if this is high, low, lower high, lower low, or the market decides to go to indecisive, where we do something like this, where we have a higher low, and then Q4 is really the potential year-end rally. It's just going to depend on how eager the market is to go somewhere. Hopefully you have good volatility. It's like we had some decent movement day to day in August, but directionally the market really didn't go a lot of places outside of we shook everyone out last week with Jackson Hole, and then we had a rally this week, which was only one day. I mean, this looks like, oh, what an easy week. Well, this was one day. This was another day. This was 2 days. So we really didn't have a lot of great movement for the week. And here we are, gapping Friday to figure out, is there something I can trade? Right? So anyway, but we're going to get something. We're going to get a direction. Like I said, this is either willing to test the highs, or this is the high and this thing's going to start putting in some rips to the downside. So I'll give it the day. All right, that is Bitcoin. We did dollar, we did oil, we did gold and silver. Currency-wise, check the currency strength chart. We're starting to see things fade back and give back. Dollars coming back to baseline. CAD got hit as well, even though there's no real CAD news. Just kind of moved with the dollar this morning. Everything's sitting at baseline. New Zealand dropping, yen dropping. And, this is a pretty typical non-farm day, right? There's a lot of volatility right out of the gates, but not a lot of clear direction. And we'll see if the market wants to expand on something. Do we have another emerging, currency that gets stronger or weaker today to get a little bit more volatility? Or was it that was the high of the day, that was the low of the day, and then everything comes back to the middle to recenter, which could also be the case. So currency-wise, it might be a quiet but very volatile day post non-farm payroll. Equities today with the gap on the SPY, we might just be sitting right around that 451.70, and it's really a make or break. I would say this: I turn bearish on the SPY short term if we get below 450. And I guess at this point, I would say 450 to 450, 452 to 453, I'd be bullish. It's right on that. It's right on the area. This is the chop we had all day yesterday. All day yesterday. And here we are, no different. So what can the market expand on? Hopefully something. So this low, this high, it's not enough to give me confirmation. I gotta go trade something else. Right? So I'm gonna measure and see if this is my low of the day. Can we hit a daily trading range? If this is my high, can we hit a daily trading range? Maybe give me something to add a bonus trade into. All right. Let's see here. Any charts you'd like to take a look at? We explored just A to Z in the stock portfolio. Alcoa's off the lows. We put in a long call. I think we did a $35 call out to an October expiration. It was pretty cheap. It was like 75 or 76 cents for that call option. If we have a, that's out to October. So we go, 30 to 45 days out and see possibly a run to the upside. If this thing gets to 35, 36, 37, 75-cent call should turn into probably 3 to 350 in credit. If we have a big rip to the upside and this thing's trading at high 30s or 40, then we have obviously lots of upside. The one instrument that has not been doing well as far as looking at some scariness is the volatility index. We're right back to these lows again. So we do have a position VIXM long call. We might end up eating that as well, but I don't mind taking little stabs at it because one of those is probably going to pay in a bigger way. But I don't know. Maybe it's silly. Maybe we settle in lower. But the VIX hasn't been this low since early, by the way, before everything got wild and crazy in March's COVID scare, but early 2020. So we are heading back into some pretty crazy lows, but I also know that this market can continue to do that. So what's going to derail the equities run? Not much. I talked about this week in the trading rooms. I don't think the Fed's going to do much. Everyone knows the Fed is pretty much a calculated message at this point. They're going to stay higher for longer. They want to see more job losses. The one thing that needs to continue to happen is we need to see higher unemployment. We need to see consumers probably take a breather, and that's probably been another factor of the resiliency is that people keep spending, right? The PCE came out this week and it came in as expected, but personal consumption is still at highs. People are still, I guess, because they're sitting on equity in their homes, they're just spending it like they got it. So real estate's probably a pause right now. Interest rates at high 6s and 7%. So it's going to be the great rent. It's going to be the great pause. I don't think there's going to be tons of new home buyers, although supply is catching up because home builders are doing their thing. But who wants to buy a house that 3 years ago you could get a $600,000 house and afford it, and now that same house is maybe 420 to 430. So you're getting less house for the same amount of money. So the affordability index is like I think as low as it's been since like early 2000s, which is probably not good, you know. So all right, that's VIX. Let's talk some currencies. Aussie CAD. Next week, by the way, I am going to be discussing a new course for Forex. It's something I haven't done before, but traders that have been with me for the last 4 or 5 years in my trading rooms know that this is my preferred style of trading. I really am a position builder. I really am I'm an investor in the Forex market. So this year with the positive swap finally going to the traders, I position my portfolio accordingly. So I've got a lot of positions where I'm getting some positive swap. I'm getting some good technicals. There are currency pairs that I really like as far as buying and holding. And I think we're at levels on, I've got over 10 currencies that I'm really interested. So I'm building an entire course around it. I'm starting a brand new account to show, okay, this is where we get in. This is where I'm getting in. This is my goal. I'm trying to double my account over the next maybe, let's say, 3 months, 6 months. If it takes longer than that, so be it. But there will be some positive gains regardless, just based on positive swap. But if we get our positive swap and rollover plus our pips, I think it's going to be pretty straightforward to double an entire trading account, which is why I think it's totally worth exploring those opportunities and learning how to invest in the forex market, not just trade it. We trade it, but I'm talking about investing. All right, I'm right back thinking again, just watching short-term price action. We're coming down in the day, 450. Just really choppy at that 451 and change. Really choppy, wow. All right. So, sorry, I just keep looking at my short term. Let's go to the 1 minute here. So, if the bears can break below this level, I'm looking at a pretty aggressive long put on the SPY. I would say right now, if the bulls can break above this level, so I'm just going to give it time. It's just super choppy right now, short term. But if we break above 452.50, or we break below I guess that's 451. So 452.50 to 451. Yeah, I'll just let price just kind of hang out. So I'm going to put this in my morning assessment for Delta Trader. Just a couple of prices to watch really quickly. It's 10 a.m. Do we have news come out? I just feel like that's a big pump the last couple of minutes. So Delta Trader, non-farm, created gap. SPY is choppy, looking bullish, greater than 452.50. Looking bearish if we get below 451. Okay, so I just posted that this morning for Delta Trader, and this is what I'm going to be watching on my other screen here. So it's getting close. I think, Matt, all we're waiting for on that is I think I'm just waiting for everything to be finalized for Smart Trader. I think it's good for MT4. I can confirm that. Sorry that's been a delay, but I think we were just waiting for the whole bundle. So MT4 plus Smart Trader, I think that's been the only holdup. Yep. No, it still works. Like the MT4 version's fine. It was just trying to get that currency strength built into Smart Trader. That's been the challenge. But let me see what I can do with the MT4 one. Yep. Okay, so we're good there. Position wise this week, I mean, like I said, Aussie dollar. We're getting long of this broadening pattern low. New Zealand dollar, we're getting long off the broadening pattern low. The dollar CAD is back up. This is why I said I didn't want to force a sell trade. I'd like to sell the dollar CAD if we somehow come up here to 38, 1.38, 1.39, 1.40. I like this trade a lot more. This would be my area to finally get a chance to sell it. And maybe just maintain this range from like 1.31 to 1.40. But that also gives us a chance to, maybe trade the upside a little bit. The dollar CAD has been crazy. I have had such good looking setups and have only been filled on like one trade that I've liked in the last almost year. Like literally this low in November of last year. Tried to buy it at equal lows, didn't get filled. Tried to sell it at equal highs, didn't get filled. Stories in my flex trader, and we know that, right? I finally got filled here, bought it, took a couple of profits, and that's been it. So just gonna sit and be patient. All right, 452 and change. Let's look at a 453. I guess I could look at the 452.50. Maybe that's like the secret level today. There's something about that 452.50 today. I'm just deciding whether or not I take a put or a call because it keeps chopping around. So I'm gonna just box this in, I guess. If I get a clean breakout, then that's gonna be my trade for the day. So I'll post this in my Delta Trader. So can we break here? Can we break here? And it might be one of those days where it gets really messy. There you go. I mean, if I have to try to trade today from 452.50 to 451.20, that's going to be a tough trade. You got a 50-cent strike in there, which is kind of helpful, but for the most part, dollar strikes it's tough when you're trading a $1.20 area. So I'd like to make price a little bit more clear. If I get, the 452.50 is not bad. Try to retest the high of the day. Could probably grab a couple bucks there. If it goes higher, awesome. If we break the lows, retest the low of the day, right where the close was from yesterday, and maybe have something beyond it. So again, I'm looking to see, can we move $4 on the day? Hopefully the answer is yes, and I just have to be patient. So I'm going to look at the 452 call, and down here probably the 451 put. But I think that 452.50 is kind of nice. Gives me that intermediate strike that might help. So, all right. keep an eye on that. Let me watch this on the 1 minute time frame so that way I can see the same thing. See if we get a nice clean break. Okay, anything else? Good, good, good. All right, oh sheesh, it's 10:07. I didn't have anybody pop up and say it's time for equities on demand, dude, which it is. So Campbell Soup, let's take a look and carry this over into equities on demand. Yeah, looking at some good levels here. We'll take a look. I mean, would I like Campbell's better at 35 bucks? Yep, but possible levels in here. So let's take that over. All right, I'll shut this down and realize that 37 minutes has already gone by. Okay, so if you're here in the YouTube session, thanks a lot for being here. If you're watching the recording, thanks for being here, checking it out. Hit the thumbs up button for me, like and subscribe, all the good stuff. Enjoy the content. I will also, I posted this in my Discord group, which is at the top of this thread. I'll post it one more time for the channel. This is going to be a expiration free invite. So my Discord channel. So for anybody that hasn't joined it, feel free to jump in. Free group chat, and I post. I blog every Friday, so I post that. Anything on Twitter, any outlooks and analysis, any YouTube links, all that gets posted in there. And I will also be. I asked this earlier, and the free chat is for this. I mean, if you want to see videos on certain subjects, I did have a couple of takers on that, so I'm working on a little video series for some overall trading, some management. Yeah, so I'm working on that, and that should be coming out for direct links in the next week or two. All right. Can you AI on Smart Trader? AI as an artificial intelligence? No, there are a lot of like click in tools. I mean, there are great features that can make analysis and sharing workspaces and socializing and charting platform. A lot of great things like that. But it's not just. I mean, I think AI is just it's now a phrase that everybody says, right? I mean, is Chat GPT really AI? I mean, it's just I guess in a way it's like it's an engine that scours the market to give me an answer. So I don't know. I mean, AI is not anything new. It's just now you're using computer logic, right? So anyway, you answer your question. Can you auto trade? Yeah, you can auto trade on Smart Trader for sure. There's smart scripts. Yep, we have auto trading systems on Smart Trader. Yes, so you can auto trade. Yes, but I thought you meant like can you machine learn on Smart Trader? No, and nothing does that right now. I mean, there's no like charting platform that just learns the market for you and like here I'll plug in this chart that has 20 years of tick data and then I'm going to put in a pattern that it's got to look for. Then it learns how to trade it. It's like that doesn't exist, not yet. Okay, so anyway, that's that. But I'm gonna go. It's 10:10. I'm running late, so thanks for being here, and I will see you in. Well, I'll see you next week on Monday. If you're here for the YouTube session, Equities on Demand students, I'll see you in just a few minutes. All right, thanks. Bye bye.